Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. If you caught my live stream last night, you'll know who this little girl is. She's 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel, and she was brutally murdered, shot in the chest by a gunman who barged his way into her home. Terrifying, a stranger, no connection with Olivia's family. And I played the press conference from Merseyside police in that live. So I want to continue this story and talk about what has been said since her murder. The murder occurred 2 days ago, Monday night, less than 2 days ago as I record this. It happened in Dovecot, which is a suburb of the city of Liverpool, here in the northwest of the UK. Now, I know that 70% of my audience on both this channel and MichelleAfterDark are American. But this type of offence, this type of horror, is happening in every city in America. It just so happens that this case, Olivia's death, Olivia's brutal murder, happened just 28 miles away from where I'm currently sitting. So this is almost on my doorstep, and it's now being deemed a gangland killing. That Olivia is the innocent victim of an attempted gang murder that went wrong. So we're going to look at the latest information that's come out. And this is from the Liverpool Echo, which is a regional paper in the Liverpool area. They cover some great stories. They do really in-depth investigations. And this is the front page today of the Liverpool Echo. Imagine the terror of Olivia, just 9 years old, and her mum, as a gunman, bursts into their house and shoots them. Imagine the agony of Olivia's family as they're told she didn't make it, murdered in her own home. Imagine knowing something about this unspeakable crime, but keeping quiet because you'd rather surrender our city to the thugs than help get justice for Olivia. If this is you, ask yourself, whose side are you on? This is a problem that is happening in every city in the UK, and probably in the city closest to you. The thing with gang killings is that there is a conspiracy of silence. Even amongst the people of Liverpool, who are salt of the earth, they are down to earth, they protect their own. There's a solidarity in Liverpool that has a history that goes back many, many years. But when gang violence is involved, people do not speak because they're afraid. So I echo what the Liverpool Echo has said. Whose side are you on? Are you going to surrender your city to this type of violence? Or are you going to be brave? And are you going to speak? This is Olivia. Look at her face. Look at her face. Here are some of the messages laid out by people in memory of Olivia. A community truly in mourning. Sassy pants. Gonna miss you, the world, baby girl. Good Morning Britain are featuring this story today. This is a state of emergency. Pastor Lorraine Jones-Burrell, who lost her own son to knife crime, which is a massive problem here in the UK, talks about the wall of silence that has to break as the search for the man who killed Olivia Pratt-Korbel continues.
How long it's been since he was murdered?
It seems like it was just the other day. Hearing the news of what has happened to this poor little girl. Dwayne was just 20 years old, 2014. I left him to go shopping to get some groceries. I got back only to find a couple of his friends knocking my door saying that Dwayne has been stabbed. Literally a few minutes from my home, I ran as fast as I could, only to see my son with his chest open. He had been stabbed through the heart. This wall of silence that I'm hearing has to break. He should have been arrested already.
And Liverpool police, Merseyside police, will not stop until this man is caught. They've got the man who the gunman was chasing, who the gunman was attempted to murder. They know who he is. He's 35 years old. They've got the car, the getaway car that got him away from the scene. It's only a matter of time. So why not come forward? These are Olivia's school friends putting bouquets of flowers next to her house. Look at that face. Look at that face. Communities in Liverpool are urged to turn in the gunman behind Monday's shooting in Notty Ash, which killed 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel.
A 9-year-old girl, Olivia Pratt-Korbel, has died following a shooting in Dovecot last night. Her family are absolutely devastated and are inconsolable. And I know our communities have been absolutely rocked by the incidents that have taken place last night and over the past week here in Merseyside. At 10 p.m. last night, we received a call to Olivia's home to reports that 3 people had been injured by gunshots, including Olivia and her mum. It was believed that one of the injured parties, the 35-year-old male, was being chased by a gunman on Kings Heath Avenue in Dovecot. He saw the door into Olivia's home open and saw the opportunity to seek refuge from the gunman and forced his way into Olivia's home. The gunman followed and also forced his way in. The gunman, with complete disregard for Olivia and her family, discharged the gun into their home, hitting Olivia's mum and fatally wounding Olivia, and also fired a further 2 shots, we believe, at the 35-year-old male. The 35-year-old male, who'd been chased into the address, received further shots to his upper body. And whilst Olivia lay dying, he left the address and was collected by his friends and taken to hospital in a black Audi. On arrival, our officers, seeing just how poorly Olivia was, rushed her to Alder Hey Children's Hospital, where, despite the best efforts of medical staff at the hospital, Olivia unfortunately died. And her mum, also having been shot, was transported to a local hospital by our colleagues from North West Ambulance Service. Our thoughts go out to Olivia's family, who've been torn apart by the loss of Olivia. No mum, dad, brother, sister should ever have to experience loss in the way in which they have.
Heartfelt words there from police chief in Liverpool this morning. Now, this is an interesting interview on Good Morning Britain. It's talking about the scariness of gang violence and why people don't come forward. Remember, this is happening in every city throughout the world. Gang violence is a scourge on society. Again, I echo what the Liverpool Echo have said. Whose side are you on? But listen to this. This is interesting.
Why is that? Because there are cultures of silences around the gang. What was the response? How were people brought to justice in the Charlene Ellis case in Birmingham? How did we change the culture there? The answer was religious communities, I have to say. It was the police working alongside people within those communities to engender and create trust. And at that point, it was, I have to say, because this is what happened, looking at Marvin, I was talking to you about this earlier, it was the women mainly working with police saying enough is enough. Well, and saying to people, look, we can, and by the way, there is these legal protections. We're going to give you legal protections. We're going to give you anonymity, and it's time for this to stop.
Well, this
the
is
idea
the thing.
that snitches
The idea
get
of like
stitches.
working with communities is really, really important in this. And this is the stuff that's broken down over the last 10 to 15 years. You know, if you speak to police, they'll say, we can't do anything because we're literally showing up to cases where someone is having a mental breakdown, and that's what we're doing on a daily basis. If you talk to people in children's care, for example, cuts to children's social care have been astonishing. You can't do early intervention anymore. If you look at the homeless population, 25% of looked after children will become homeless. 25% of the prison population has been in institutional care at some point in their life. If we don't start investing in services at early ages to stop gang crime,
but we do agree on that.
This is going to get worse.
But if you're somebody in a community where it feels to you that it's run by the gang, they are your friends, they are your elders, they are your people that are offering you a chance out of poverty, it's extraordinary bravery.
It's not just out
because
of poverty.
the consequences of speaking up are real.
And it's not just out of poverty. You are inculcated in some parts of this country into a gang by virtue of where you live, right? And there are all sorts of dynamics why that's the reason. I dealt with a case with a young man, right, who was... Look, he had guns in his house, and he ran a case which is no longer legally available to say, look, he was under threat. But because he wasn't a prosecution witness in those circumstances, he wasn't afforded the state protections, which, should be clear, if you come forward, are there for people. He named the people involved in that offence. He was acquitted, in my view, rightly. I was defending him at that point. That was the Monday. He was a boy.
How old was he?
He was about 18 years old. That was a Monday when he was acquitted. On the Thursday or thereabouts, got a call from his mum to say he'd been shot dead.
Oh.
Now, his killer still hasn't been found. Culture of silence. This is a culture of silence.
And that is the problem. This is a culture of silence. This is ingrained into society. Whether they're right in talking about poverty and this being a way out of poverty, I don't know, that's one explanation. But certain parts of cities throughout the world are being run by gangs. And Olivia is just the latest victim. She's just the latest victim. But Olivia isn't alone, because there has been 3 shootings in the last week in Liverpool. Now, we don't know whether all of these are connected in some way. I don't know. I can't answer that. At this moment in time, I can't answer that. If the Liverpool gangland does not spit out the killer of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel, then sadly, Liverpool has fallen. Do you want your city to fall? The city with a long history of solidarity, of protecting the underdog, of protecting the weak, of protecting children, and serving out the biggest consequences for those who hurt children. This is your city. Liverpool drug gangs have closed ranks and refused to grass. Drugs more important than the life of a 9-year-old child. This has to stop. This has shaken communities across the UK. And I hope this becomes an international story, because it could be you. It could be your child, it could be your sister, your niece, your daughter. Next time, it could be your family. So I'll say one last time, whose side are you on? If you know something, you've got to come forward. You've got to come forward to the police, you've got to trust them. I know that's difficult, but you've got to trust them. Because this is Olivia Pratt-Korbel and her mother. Imagine what that feels like, to lose a child in that way. Needless, senseless. Whose side are you on? That's all I've got for you today. So please share this. Please get the news out that this cannot continue. Bye, guys.